another episode of Under Pressure, and I am so excited about this episode because I have my good friend. She does it all. Model, spokesperson. You have your own company, Kimi Weintraub. Thank you so much for being part of Under Pressure.
Carmine, if it wasn't you, I wouldn't be here because it's so funny. I speak on camera for a living, but talking about myself is like, I don't know why it feels so uncomfortable, so I'm going to let it all go. And because I love you, I'm going to be here.
I love you as well. I think it's because it's unnatural for what you do. Like, they don't have you up there and they're like, okay, tell us about yourself. Sell yourself. No, you're selling a product or you're talking about a product.
Yeah. I'm always pretending to be someone else. Like, in my real life, I have got 2 kids and a husband, beautiful family, but at work, I get to have fake husbands and fake families and get a whole persona that's not me. And for some reason, I just feel so much more comfortable in that way, and or especially if I'm a spokesperson. So I get a script, I speak on camera as I'm representing that brand. But like you said, they're not talking about me, so there's no pressure to like be uncomfortable or be vulnerable, which I'm usually pretty good at.
Do you ever look forward to seeing your fake family as opposed to your real family? If your real family's really getting on your nerve. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves because we're going to give, you're going to let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
You know what's funny? And I think every parent would agree to this. Being a parent is the hardest job in the world. It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So when I get on set, like I just was on set for City Furniture last week, and I was in the chair for hair and makeup, getting onto set. There's 50 people there, and everyone's stressing, running around. They're all working so hard. And I'm sitting there going, these are my days off. The days that I get to go to work are my days off because they're so much easier, so much more relaxing than being home. Not that I don't love my kids.
Of course.
Right?
I wasn't going to assume that at all, I promise.
Right. But it's just like, I get so irked when people are like, oh, I had such a hard day at work and, my wife is just home all day with the kids. It is the hardest job ever. And I know every parent out there would probably agree with me.
I can't speak to that because I have no kids, but from the outside looking in, it looks like the toughest job ever. For you to be happy when there's chaos going around you at the workplace and you're like, this is my salvation. Sign me up for this every day. So a little backstory with us, the way we met, it's when I was working in radio. It was at iHeartRadio, and they had a Christmas party, and you and your best friend Reggie were elves. And I just looked at you two singing up there, just having the time of your lives. I was like, there's something about these two that I want to know more. Then I asked if you guys wanted to help me host the Top 9 at 9.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys did that flawlessly. And you even made me a jingle. You did my own little, what was it?
We wrote you a little Christmas song.
Wasn't it like Winter Wonderland, but it was Carmine's Wonderland?
Something about Carmine's Wonderland, but it's funny because people that know me now in like what I do now don't realize that I got into this because I was a singer. I was a classically trained singer and was traveling with my best friend, as you know, singing. And for Christmas, we would dress up as elves, we dress up as Mrs. Claus and sing at all these different events. And it seems like a lifetime ago. Like that was just.
So is that how you got discovered? So it was you and Reggie, and were you Mrs. Claus in this case? Or
we were
you
both
an elf?
Mrs. Claus. So Santa had both of us. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. All right. Santa was getting down.
Yeah. So I was doing the majority of the bookings. We were in an acoustic duo called Reggie and Kimi. So classic. I was booking all of our jobs with you guys and with weddings and everything. And that was kind of my main job in the band besides singing, obviously. And I said to Reggie one day, maybe if I went to an agent, they could help us book the job so we can focus more on writing songs and singing songs and doing more of what we loved, and someone else could take care of the booking. She said, fine. So I go to an agency, a talent agency. At that time, I didn't know. I thought talent meant singing, dancing, whatever. Yeah. So I didn't realize that a lot of the times it means acting and modeling. So I went to the talent agent, and I said, I'm really looking for more singing jobs, yada, yada. And he looked at me point blank in the face, and he said, have you ever considered modeling? And if you knew me back then, honestly, I still hold on to that. I have struggled with low self-esteem my whole life. Been in and out of therapists, never thought I was good enough for anything, the lowest self-worth of anyone I know. So when he said that, I remember laughing and saying, of course not. No, never considered it in my wildest dreams. And he said, let me sign you. I'll take you under my wing. I'll get you a couple of jobs. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But I'm telling you, you have an ethnically ambiguous look. I remember he said that. And I think you're marketable. So I was like, Okay, first of all, I thought it was a scam.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that exact question. I was like, when
Yeah.
you were in there at first, you were like, this dude is pulling my chain.
I was like, where's the exit?
There's got to be another reason for this.
Yeah. So when he said that, first of all, I was really taken aback. I was like, who am I to argue? Sure, I didn't have to pay anything. It seemed like it was a legitimate company. And within that first week, I booked my first job. And my first job was dressing up as Cotton Candy for Royal Caribbean. So I was used to dressing up as stupid.
I want to see those pics.
I had pink Marge Simpson hair all the way up to the ceiling and a huge tutu dress. We can link those.
I mean, look at how you had that start, though. That is crazy. The guy says basically you're a chameleon. You can blend in with a bunch of different situations. We'll have a bunch of gigs. You book your first gig within a week. Did you think to yourself, like, oh, this might be a little bit too easy?
Well, the funny thing is at the time when he sent me, and I feel bad he didn't book any music jobs, so I kind of was just like, oh, well, there goes that.
Career.
Now I got to book this myself. So when he sent me that email that week, it said something like $150 an hour to stand around as an atmosphere model, which I didn't know at the time what that was, and like pass out pamphlets. I'm like, oh my God, this is what, like, I could make real money doing this. And at that time, that sounded unbelievable. So I booked it, and then I remember the next week I got a job as the lead girl in a like R&B music video, which
you were a hip hop girl?
Please don't Google it. It is. I will show you later.
I want you to Google it now.
It is so.
Everybody listening and watching it, make sure you Google it. Maybe I could splice this in on this episode. I'm gonna splice.
Okay,
so
the song
clip.
is called "Fish Go and Swim," and the rapper's name was Swim God. It is. So, Carmine, if you know
the
me.
Swim God? The Swim God.
No, if you know me, it's so funny. So, and you can see me right now. I am like the least person that they should have chosen for this job. I was dancing in the background of a very ghetto-fied, provocative R&B rap video, and I'm the only girl there, and I have no ass. Like,
you were the only girl on top of it?
I was the... Yeah, their budget was low, and they just thought, oh, this girl can handle all of it. So I'm in the ocean, my hair is going, I'm dancing in the background, and the lyrics are so
vulgar,
sexy and vulgar, and I'm just like shaking it. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
No backside, and you're just like, I'm
backside.
supposed to be a hip hop chick. And
they didn't ask me to turn around when I got the job. I just had my headshot and a full body shot from the front. So I think that they were probably disappointed when I got there, but it was too late to change it out. But yeah, it is a very, very, very funny music video, and it's so unlike what I would ever do.
Yeah.
But it threw me into the business doing that one cotton candy job and then the music video job. I'm like, hey, if I can do this, I can basically do anything.
Yeah, and you got back-to-back, like I said, consecutive weeks you booked a gig. Mm-hmm. But since this is under pressure, I need to know the times where it kind of got stale, because I know it just wasn't sunshine and rainbows. I know it's a constant grind every single day for you. So was there ever a moment you were like, you know what, this is not as easy as I thought, and maybe I'm not in the right career?
Something comes to mind right away. Right away. So embarrassing. So... and I was pretty late in the game to get into modeling. A lot of people get into modeling in their early teens and they get through it. I was 26 when I started modeling. Also, I'm not tall. I'm 5'4". I'm not the skinniest girl in the world. I'm not the prettiest girl in the world. So it's like I wasn't in this bubble of, oh, she's obviously a model. I didn't know what I was doing. So I got booked. My next job that I got booked for, which was my first taste of the acting world and being on set of a real intense, high-pressure job. And it was through Telemundo, which is a really big, as we know, Spanish company that does tons of TV work. So I got cast as an extra for that. And I told my husband, look, it doesn't pay a lot of money, but I really want to see what it's like to work like on a movie set or TV set. It's like, sure, no problem. So I get booked for it.
Of course he's going to support you.
Oh my God, he's the most supportive, especially after Swim God. He can handle anything.
After Swim God, he's good to go.
Oh yeah, and the other music video I got basically around that same time, I had to kiss the lead for basically no money. So I'm telling you, my husband is very supportive. Big
clap for Brian.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. You have to be a very secure individual. So
he's the most secure, most supportive. So I tell him I'm going to do this Telemundo job. He's like, sure, no problem. We didn't have kids at the time, but he still would have let me. So I get on set. They tell me that I'm going to be the lead extra, which So I was like, okay, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So they have a bunch of extras on a TV set, which, you know, if you see your favorite TV show, the leads are talking at a table and then everybody in the background is just pretending to move and pretending to talk. So the lead extra means I don't have any lines, but I'm in the focal ground of the camera. So I'm like, perfect, lead extra, sounds good. So I'm supposed to walk in while the two leads it was a major TV program. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. Major TV program. I'm supposed to walk in, hand a tray down at a restaurant, and leave.
Easy enough, at least
Easy
on
enough.
the surface.
No pressure. Didn't feel anything until I realized that I get on the set and nobody speaks English. And
Get
I look Latina. I'm not Latina. I don't speak a word of Spanish.
It's that ethnic
ambiguous.
Yep.
Yeah. So they just assumed, my agent assumed, and it was a huge mess. So I'm wondering, I think that they're going to translate it for me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't want to make the tension on me because I'm just an extra.
Yeah.
So
the lead extra, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
lead extra.
You could have kind of acted like a diva, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I was hot shit at the time. So I'm thinking, okay, well, it's going to be easy enough. Maybe I'll look at the body cues. I'll pick up on something and they'll hand gesture me. So they hand gesture me to go in. He says something and I walk in, I place the tray and I leave. And there's screaming, there's like something was cut and they start waving their hands for me to get off. And nobody said anything to me in English still at this time. I'm just like, oh my God, they have to redo all the sets. It probably cost them so much money. Everybody is annoyed. And I realized, okay, maybe I've got in a little bit over my head on this one because it was so humiliating.
I mean, they should have at least asked. Like, you can't assume someone knows a certain language. That's crazy. Right. And nobody on the set spoke a lick of English?
I think
everybody help you out.
I think everybody actually spoke English, but everybody just chose to speak in Spanish, and I didn't say anything. Wow. So that was a big learning experience.
Also, it's such a jealous industry. So people who probably wanted to be the lead extra, baller, they were probably like, you know what, let this girl just crash and burn. And that's funny.
And
you say that about Telemundo and in Spanish because when I was in radio, when I first got my start, I was a board op. So for people that don't know, it's someone who runs the board. And at the time, they had a club gig. It was like a Roomba or something like that. So the entire broadcast is in Spanish. And I told Leah, who was the talent at the time, I was like, hey, I need your out cue because I have no idea.
You don't speak any Spanish
I don't speak a lick of Spanish either. I'm like, I need you to make it obvious. She's like, I got you. I'm thinking she's not going to make this obvious. So she's doing her sign off as we're about to go into commercial, all in Spanish. And I wish she was there for you because she says it all in Spanish. And then all of a sudden she goes, and now Carmine, back to you in the studio. And then I knew to hit the button to send us to commercials, but you needed Aaliyah.
I needed Aaliyah so bad. But you know what? I don't need Aaliyah because I unless I take some Duolingo for a while, I am turning down everything from Telemundo because I'm traumatized. I'm fully traumatized.
Was the money good though?
I think I ended up making about $6 an hour after all is said and done because it was like a 14-hour day back to back.
Did you at least get some good food?
Probably. I'm sure I did. I think I tried to block that whole
situation. Since I am a big foodie, and before we get into more details about your life and hopefully no more Telemundo stories, how is the food on set?
How is the food on set generally?
Yeah, in general.
It really, really depends because on the smaller jobs, you're going to get subs and pizza, which is ridiculous because you're in swimsuits, you're in fancy outfits most of the time, and who wants to be like full of carbs before you're about to be on camera?
You don't want to be bloated.
Yeah, but the bigger jobs, like last week, we had fully catered, all Spanish food. It's really unbelievable. Like I'm telling you, they're my days off.
Those are the gigs I want to go. Do you need somebody to hold your purse and stuff and your makeup? If I'm not doing
I think I could put in a good word for you.
I hope so. You know, I'm basically begging at this point. And
it's a great job.
The other thing I wanted to ask about that whole situation, is there a hierarchy on set, like for those to get food and not get food? So if you're an extra as opposed to the lead extra, or maybe if you have a speaking role, the only reason I say that is because comedian Jeff Dye talked about Sarah Hyland, who's one of my favorite actresses just because I loved Modern Family, and she was Haley Dunphy, and he said she was a real diva on set, and she would be like, why are the extras eating our food and stuff like that? Like this is not their place. And I wonder if you ever came across a situation like that where someone's like, hey, you eat after us.
Not since I've I'm not saying that I made it to another level, but not since I've been in the more commercial world of like doing actual brands, like like household name brands. The household name brands, they do basically everything to the book. Everyone feels welcome and everyone has everything that they need. They don't want a lawsuit on their hands.
Yeah.
But back in the early days, when I was taking every job, I think I worked almost for free for a year just to get experience. And so some of those jobs, you'd be working 10, 12-hour days and never be offered food. They don't look at you. They don't speak to you because you're just basically a prop. So I've definitely had experiences like that where, oh, mental note, bring a bar, bring your own water. But I think as you kind of, like you said, as you go up the chain, they're more respectful, bigger budgets. People know what it entails to have a big production like that.
And I'm glad you brought up that for a while you were maybe just doing jobs just to do it. It wasn't about the money. Because I think that's where so many people decide to get out of this business or industry like media or entertainment. It's because they think they're going to book that gig right out the gate. You're going to make $100,000 a year or $100,000 for that.
And they're going to get royalties on top of it.
And you don't, and you have to pay your dues. What motivated you to stay in the career you were then in when you might not have been making money that you
truly
saw yourself making?
It's truly such a good question, and I deal with this all the time. I truly deal with this all the time because I'm on Instagram. I post the jobs that I do. I sometimes post castings to get beginner models a shot. So I do a lot of that behind the scenes. So I get a few messages at least a week, sometimes daily, from people saying, I want to do what you do. How did you get into it? Can you help me? Da, 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 da. And when I say to them, you're going to need a little bit of experience. Try to go on these websites, do a couple of jobs for some lower budgets, get some headshots done, invest in yourself, do the work it takes. And then I'll say it took me a year just to get my feet off the ground, to get the connections and with producers in the industry in the area. They ghost me. After I'm trying to put myself out there to tell them how it goes. This is how it goes in this world. And they ghost me because people don't want to put the work in. So I love it so much. It's something, like you said, I would do this for free. I tell my husband all the time, any day that I'm on set is a happy day for me. I love it so much. I would do anything. Anytime I'm speaking on camera, a teleprompter is my favorite thing in the world. So if it's not something that you are like breathing and you need, I don't recommend it for you because they're grueling hours. You're going to get a ton of rejection. I probably do 20 auditions just to get one, maybe. And that's because I've already invested in a studio setup to have my self-tapes look impeccable. And I still don't get that many jobs. But the optics are that I do. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes to get these jobs.
Everyone's out there looking for instant gratification. And the problem is there are so many influencers now. They're everywhere. So you think, oh, they can do it, then I can do it. But they don't see behind the scenes. Like you just said, all those no's, all the times you had that rejection, and you're like, I got to just keep doing it. I got to keep doing it. I got to keep fighting. Yeah. They don't do that. And all of a sudden they're like, wait, how come I'm not famous? I just made 2 videos. How am I not famous?
Right.
And you talked about your setup and everything that you have at home because you have your own production company.
I do.
So you decided to get the middleman completely out of the way. And I think that is such an awesome thing to do because that's why I started this podcast, because I wanted to have my own voice. I didn't want to have to, answer to 9,000 other people. Exactly. If I had a great idea, I can kind of just make it happen. If it sucks, it's on me. It's not like I'm going to put all this work in.
All the risk, all the reward.
And then someone's like, oh, see you later. Right. And it's like, wait, I did everything right. Why am I not, still employed or something like that? So.
Yeah, it's definitely the best thing I ever did. And to your point, people think, oh, that person was an overnight success. I love the quote. It's like, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success. Like, people think all these podcasts are booming, but sometimes it takes 200 episodes for that one to pop, and then you blow up. Like, you're not just going to, all these people want to write a book, and where's your audience? Like, it takes time to build. So for me and my production company, it kind of happened overnight, but it didn't happen for nothing with no work involved. So probably a year after I got signed as a model, I auditioned for, I think it was an orthodontist office, to teach kids how to brush their teeth on camera. And I never used a teleprompter before, but I lied. Kids don't do that at home. I lied and said, yeah, I'm proficient in teleprompter. Because I'm a smart girl, I thought I could pick it up on the fly.
Yeah, you're like, I could read.
Right, I can read. And I was able to. And I didn't realize that was a skill of mine until the day that I get on set. I do the teleprompter job, and if there's a fire in my belly. I'm like, where was this all my life? I don't know what it is, but I loved it so much.
I can see you lighting up talking about
Oh,
that. It
like
is
I have
really
chills.
cool to see.
Yeah, I love what I do. So I remember I was so giddy. I was like amped up after the job, and I went and ran to the producer who was in charge of the shoot, and I said, I don't know what I have to do, but I love this so much. Can you please give me advice? Please let me know. How do I book more of these jobs in the future? And he laughed in my face.
Really?
Yeah, I'll never forget, because I felt like,
Wow.
I felt really low. I'm sure he didn't mean it, but he laughed in my face. He's like, oh, honey, these jobs are so hard to come by. Like, good luck. Just keep putting yourself out there and see what comes in the future. But yeah, but good luck.
That's such a dickhead thing to say. Like, that dude is a douche.
Crush dreams. Crush dreams.
You know what? Say his name. Put him out on the podcast.
No, we're actually, the funny thing is that we're friends now, because
really?
it all happened that way.
It happens for a reason,
Yes.
man.
So I'll never forget. I went home that night.
I take back my dickhead comment then, since you're friends with Kimi.
I went home that night and I told my husband, I said, I don't know what I have to do, but I need to do this. I need this to be the route I take. And I watched YouTube videos, YouTube University. I looked on Google, what do I do? How do I make
YouTube
a green?
University, I like that.
Yeah.
I learned how to fix an Xbox on YouTube, so
exactly.
I understand that.
It's the best. Talk to people in the business that I had met, and I bought, cheap lights on Amazon. I bought a green sheet, threw it up on the wall, and started using my phone. And that's where Kimi Weintraub Productions was born, with that kind of equipment. And slowly I started pitching to companies. Let me do my first commercial for free. Let me just do it.
Yeah.
Send me a script. Let me practice, and I'll send you the raw green screen footage. You guys can use it for whatever you want. I was a noob back in the day. I wouldn't do that now.
Yeah.
And my agents would kill me if they knew I did that now. But that's what I did.
But you had to do what you had to do. You had to grind. That's what it is. You were grinding.
Yeah, I wanted it so badly. And fast forward to today, I was able to reinvest in my business, buy a better camera, buy better lights, hire people to help. My husband still works the teleprompter, by the way, which love him for that. Because we work. I have a 24-hour turnaround in my studio, and I've got 2 kids at home. Sometimes we're filming, both kids go to bed. We film for the rest of the night. We can bang out 10 commercials a night if we need to.
Yeah.
So it's been the biggest blessing of my life.
Some people can't do that, just one commercial, and you're doing 10 a night. And I don't want to keep hyping him up, but your husband's incredible, because if he wasn't supporting you, not only does that put a strain on your relationship, but you might not be doing what you love right now, because you might have had to make that choice. And unfortunately, a lot of people have to make that choice. It's like, oh, it's either me or it's your career. And that's such an unfair thing to do. And you got an awesome husband who's like, nah, I will back you 110%. And on top of it, you have 2 beautiful daughters. So 24/7, you are on.
I am on. And it's part of my personality. I hate when I have no jobs. My least favorite time of the week is the weekend, because I don't get emails.
Really?
My favorite day of the week is Monday.
Some people dread looking at their phones because of emails. And
it's because they haven't found what lights them up
dopamine.
Yet. Mm-hmm. I hate weekends. I love knowing that, oh, I'm going to be booking this job, or I'm going to find models for this. And I just love this world. And I can't say it enough.
Do you see yourself with the production company eventually having your own talent agency? Would you?
It's definitely looking that way. The problem right now is my schedule is so full that it takes a lot. I give agents so much credit, because it takes so much time and effort just to book one person. You are vetting tons of people. You're sifting through so many emails, and it takes a lot of time. And because the money is better to be modeling and acting and speaking on camera, it would have to really be worth it. But I'm making a lot of connections now that I'm kind of for fun helping cast, because I have so many friends that want to be in this business.
I see it on Instagram all the time. You're like, hey, looking for someone in the Orlando area, 30s to 40s male and stuff like that.
Right.
It's like,
so if you on Instagram, if you want to, exactly, you want to check it out. I am doing a ton of opportunities that are basically just for fun, and because I love it and I want other people to get those experiences. So if you're, a beginner model, you can maybe see my posts and say, oh, maybe I can try a job with her without the pressure of being through an agent and having to be an expert and know all the lingo. Like, I will take you under my wing.
That's awesome. Look at that. You do it for free. And it's something that down the line I could see you having the talent agency. Got me tongue-tied there, Kimmy. But for right now, it's the modeling 24/7. And one more time, when it comes to Brian, you have almost a perfect man. How do you find such an incredible man like that?
Carmine.
What's your origin story?
Carmine.
And you're going to say Carmine because I do know the origin story, but I want everybody else to hear it because it is one of the best stories ever. Because if you just said how you met, no context, people be like, bro, you live life dangerously.
I do have a wonderful husband that
I've never met him in person.
How have you not?
Well, now that you're on the podcast and we have to have dinner or something like that, or I can hold the teleprompter or run the teleprompter next time.
I did not know he was going to be this much of a hands-on dad, supportive husband when I first met him, but we did meet on Craigslist. And he hates, yeah, right. That would be good. He hates. He's like, please give some more backstory because I always just say that. So I was looking for a job. This was 10 years ago, so I was in my early 20s, back in when it wasn't so embarrassing to look for jobs or couches or whatever on Craigslist. So I was looking for a job on Craigslist. I was working on my master's in business, and I was. I had a ton of experience in the legal field working for a mediation company. So I knew all of the lawyers. So when I saw he was hiring for a job for someone in the legal and finance background, I was like, that's perfect. He owned a legal funding company and he was looking for someone in sales and marketing. So I respond to the ad. I meet him. It wasn't love at first sight, but we were instantly best friends. Like,
that's awesome.
My interview was 2 hours long.
How fortunate you are. It was 2 hours long.
It was 2 hours long. Like, it's going to sound unprofessional.
After 30 minutes, you were probably like, this is no longer about the job.
No, and honestly, I can tell you 1,000,000%, we worked together for 6 months before anything was ever in the gray area. He never crossed the line. He never complimented me. Like, I wished he would, because at that point, I was madly in love with him at that point. Never complimented me, never flirted with me, never crossed the line. And
you think that made you want him more?
Absolutely.
Like,
so men.
Hello, I'm right here. Look at my outfit. Like, I did this for you, Brian.
Never.
Like, this was for you.
That's right. So I knew he wasn't interested. So I would.
Well, you thought he wasn't interested.
Was he interested?
I
still need to know.
I've never met him, so I don't know. That's the first question I'm going to ask. Be like, yo, when did you know Kimmy was the one? Right. He'll probably be like, 6.5.
I know he tells me, in your interview. I'm like, BS. Like, are you kidding me? You never hit on me.
Maybe he was just worried he didn't want to cross any kind of lines.
But again, I had such low self-esteem that there was no chance a man like him would ever be interested in me. Like, you don't understand. Like, that was my go-to. And I just would dream about him and would like picture our life together, knowing it would never happen, ever. So I was working for. This is such a funny story. If I can share it, I hope he'll let me share it.
This episode's all about you. You share whatever you want.
So I was working for him. Whatever. We were talking every night. I was singing at a job one night because that was my bread and butter at night. I was singing at a bar, and randomly I call him, and I said, "Hey, my friends and I are wanting to hang out tonight. Can we come? Can we go to your hot tub? Like, can we come to your house?" First of all, I want you to know that never happened, and that just popped into my brain.
The hot tub thing. You want to talk about
just laying it on thick. And he's like, "Sure, I'm just finishing dinner. Come over in 30 minutes." I panicked because I had no friends available. What? I don't know why I made that up.
The hot tub. Everything. You could have been like, "Can we come over, have a couple of drinks?" You said the hot tub.
Right.
The only thing that would have been better would be like, "Hey, can we come snuggle in your bed?"
Yeah, seriously. I think I was expecting to be like, "Oh no, but maybe another time," like just to open the conversation. Yeah. He's like, "Come over now."
To break the ice, basically.
Right. So I run over to my best friend's house, and my sister happened to be there at the time. Like, it was just the perfect storm because we're all best friends. Yeah. They were in their pajamas watching a movie, and I knock on the door furiously. I'm like, "I need you guys to do me a favor. Like, if you've ever done anything," and they're like, "No, we're tired."
We're hide a body.
So get your swimsuits on. We are going to my boss's house 3 towns away. And it was like 10 o'clock at night at the time. I had just finished a gig.
In the hot tub. They're like, "Are you high?"
Right. Yeah. So we get in the car. Honestly, I'll give them so much credit for this. They are amazing. We get in the car, we go to his house, and I'm saying to them in the car the whole time, oh man, I can't control myself. I have all these feelings and da-da-da, and I don't think he's interested in me. Could you guys like see if there's a vibe? Please, I need you. And they were all in the pool, and my Chelsea pulls me aside, and she's like, I just want you to know I don't think he's interested at all.
What?
Legit.
Does Brian play poker?
Oh, he's the best poker player ever.
Ding, ding, ding,
He
ding, ding.
is the best poker player.
How did I guess that?
Yeah, exactly. And my sister was like, no, he's not interested, blah, blah, blah. So I was devastated. I was like, all right, he's a good friend. I'll keep my job, whatever. Let me just get over this. So Brian says, and it's like midnight. He's like, oh, do you guys want to do like a midnight dinner? Like, let's all go out, whatever. So my sister and Chelsea go in one car. I go in one car with Brian just to hang out.
Yeah.
And we're pulling into the restaurant, and he pulls into the parking lot, into the parking space, and I jump over his console, and I kiss him right on the lips. And he pushes me off like a gentleman, like full Heisman, actually.
Yeah.
Like
full Heisman. I love that.
yeah. And I'm sitting in the car seat, and like
And you're
tears
like,
are in my eyes,
just
and
got rejected.
I just start word vomiting. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to lose my job. Like, I just have so many feelings for you. Like, just please, like, let's just pretend this never happened. Let's go back to being friends. And he's like, are you drunk? I was like, no, I didn't have a sip of alcohol. He's like, oh, well, just making sure. Can you try that again?
Oh, yo, fist bump. I like that. That's good.
Legit moved in 2 days later. And we have been inseparable ever since. Yeah.
Brian, smooth criminal.
Like,
played hard to get.
He's still playing hard to get, let me tell you. 2 kids later and working on the third still
Oh,
playing.
congratulations. That's going to be fun.
We'll see. I'm not busy
Heisman,
enough.
No more Heisman for you. Speaking of your 2 incredible daughters, like if someone did research and I talked about your daughters, it might be a little weird, but since we have a relationship prior, would you ever get them into modeling?
Well, it's funny. Livy is the old one. Old one. She's 4.
The old one.
The old one. The
She's
old
almost
bag.
past her prime.
The old bag.
Time to run the teleprompter.
She did a couple of jobs, and I could tell she just wasn't enjoying it. Even to this minute, she doesn't love taking pictures, so I took her out of everything. So she's not doing it, but my little one, Ellie, who's almost 2, she is like a natural.
Really?
Natural on camera. She has like my personality. She's so bubbly. She's so in your face. And like we did a huge job for Humana, like 5 days in Miami. She was 1 at the time, and she was being passed around to everyone. She was taking all the pictures, smiling at everything. They called her One Take Ellie.
Really?
Yeah, and she's a baby.
You know how cool of a nickname that is for a baby? One Take Ellie. It's like, yo, this baby's a professional.
I know.
Get her there.
So we got to get her booked. She is phenomenal.
So their personalities more aligned, and so your youngest is more you, and then your eldest is more Brian?
Yes, my oldest is Brian. They are the same person.
So if you have a third, what are you hoping for? Would you want another girl? I know Brian's got to be starving for a son.
It's so funny because he's the best girl dad in the world. Honestly, I have no one way or the other. If it's a girl or boy, it doesn't matter to me. If it's a girl, it'll be easier for me. I have everything. I know what to do. If it's a boy, of course, it'd be wonderful. I think he wants to carry on the family name, but who cares? We don't have to stop at 3.
Yeah, right. Just keep on going.
I like being busy.
You clearly.
I thrive under pressure.
I mean, would there be a cap for the amount of kids you'd have? Like 7. Would you do 7?
Octomom and I would probably be like, I think I would probably stop at that.
I'd hope so, Kimmy. I mean, this is not the 1700s where you need the kids to,
It's
take care of the
true.
farm and work.
It's true, but they're so damn cute.
And my best friend, Nick, he's a girl dad, and he always wanted a son, but he's got 2 beautiful daughters. And it's just something that changes in a man when you see it when they become a girl dad. It is such a cool thing to see. And in your case, if you do happen to have a son, he's going to be a mama's boy. That's just what happens.
That's
going to be your little dude.
You know what's funny? Everybody is the world's best parent before they become a parent. Like, they have so many opinions. Like, oh, I'd never do that. Oh, yeah. I'd never let my kid have an iPad. I would never, they're never going to talk back. Brian, we thought he was going to be Mr. Disciplinarian because he's like a tough guy.
Putty.
These girls run the show. I'm like,
that's what happens. And that's so funny because I literally say that when I see kids with the iPads in the restaurants. I'm like, stop. Like, that's not going to be my kid. That's not going to be my kid. But then what you just told me, it's like, no, it will be your kid because you just kind of want them to be quiet for a little bit. You don't want to be that couple that looks like they can't control their kid.
Yep, I'm telling you, I was the world's best parent before I became a parent.
The armchair quarterback.
Oh yeah. These kids, my kids. I'm gonna let them run amok.
So Kimmy, what do you have coming up? What's in the works?
Oh my gosh.
You booked something today. I don't know when this episode is going to air, but you just do not stop.
I know. I'm in the waiting room, like, finalizing a shoot for next week. I just booked a shoot for Four Seasons and Disney. They're doing a collab shoot, and they wanted me to help them book it and be a part of it. So that was really exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
See, you're doing it all. Just create the talent agency, then get podcasters on board. I volunteer to be one of your first clients.
Okay, you can be one of my fake husbands if you want.
Okay, that works. So now this is Carmine and Kimmy. This is relationship advice with Carmine and Kimmy.
We got to get this guy modeling, huh?
No, stop. Now you're going to make me have already...
No, you have a face for radio. We know you have a face for radio.
Wow. No, go back to the compliments, all right?
Yeah, fine.
So, Kimmy, this was absolutely freaking amazing. Thank you so much for being part of the show. And you said you were never going to do a podcast. You said you would have said no to anybody but me. Should I wear that like a little badge of honor?
Maybe this will be my first podcast. We'll see.
You know what? You can only go up from here.
It can only go up. Exactly.
Well, Kimmy, thank you so much. That was another episode of Under Pressure. Make sure you follow us on all major platforms, wherever you consume your podcast. You can listen there. Tell your friends about it. Tell your family, so I could blow up, and then I could be on Kimmy's level. That's what I want to do. I want to be on Kimmy's level.
I want to be on your level at some point.
Stop.
Come
you
on.
do not. That is a downgrade. But thank you so much.
Thank you.